Hello there everyone. We are going to do a little video today where we are separating some of the plantlets from the mother leaf. Some of these have gotten nice and large now, and I think it is time for them to have their own cups. This one is a standard size, as you can tell by the size of this large leaf. You want to wait until you have 3 to 5 quarter-sized leaves before you start to separate. In some cases you'll be able to basically cut a fresh angle off of the mother leaf, or even if the roots are there, we'll see how once we separate this goes. But we could just potentially go back and continue to see if more babies would come once this is replanted again. Scoop some in the bottom. A little shake. If you see any large pieces, you can go ahead and pull those out. The shake is just to keep large air pockets from forming. You want the soil to be, not compacted, but at the same time you don't want any large air pockets either. So we are going to maybe give it a little squeeze around the outside and gently pull this out of the cup. We're just going to work away the excess soil because we're going to put it in a fresh mix. This kind of also helps you see what you're looking for here underneath. Looks like we have a good root system. We're going to try to go ahead and just gently tug apart the mother leaf, separate her from the baby here. In this case, there is another up here at the top, but I don't feel like it's necessarily big enough for anything that I'm going to go ahead and do anything with at the moment. I'm just going to let it keep growing. It's not got enough leaves, and at some point I may just pull that off, but for now we'll go ahead and put the mother leaf off to the side here until we can pot her back up. And then we're going to see what we have here. Is this one baby? Is it multiple babies? Try to get off all this excess soil. These are great roots that we have here. And as you can see, you can tell that all these leaves are coming from the same rosette kind of out from a base. Nobody is separate from this, so this is one plant. So we are going to, since it has so much of a root system already established, I'm going to have to get deep down in this and gently put the leaves down in. I'm going to take some soil, put it around on top, and try to keep this in the center of the pot as best we can. It's kind of flopping around at the moment. You want to make sure that you don't cover any of the stems. You don't want them to be under the soil. You want that center part piece to be above the soil line. And I am pushing, giving it a little bit of a push just to make sure that it stands upright. And what you can do as well is you can use toothpicks to help stabilize it in the beginning, if you would like as well. I've had pretty good luck of just kind of balancing and giving it a little support. This one is kind of top heavy, so I may end up at some point coming back and adding some toothpicks. And then I want to come back later with like a little, you can use a makeup brush or a paint brush, and just gently brush away some of this excess soil. Definitely want to make sure that I keep things labeled. It's nice to kind of see what you have. And since I did not pre-moisten the soil, we will want to put it in our little water bath and let it draw up water from the base of the cup. The soil is kind of damp from the mother plant because I've been keeping it covered with the vents open a little bit, but actually we can use this soil, some of it. Might as well make sure we're utilizing it, and since the root system was kind of nice on the mother leaf, we'll just leave her the way she is. Add a little to the top. And I may end up just pulling this off if it doesn't end up continuing to grow and branching out. Then I will at a later time. I'm going to put this off to the side over here. We picked out our next one here. This is also a standard, as you can tell by the size of the large leaf. We've got a lot of things going on here. Not sure how many plants we're going to end up with. You never really know. Could be one, could be multiple, depending on the leaf. Go ahead and put a little bit of soil in our cup to get us prepped. And again, we'll give the sides a little squeeze and gently pull out. Again, we'll just start working the excess soil away to see what we have underneath. This mother leaf is holding on to her offspring quite heavily, so we're going to have to be a little bit more aggressive with separating. Get the mother leaf off to the side here. We're definitely going to see about potentially putting the soil back in for that. Looks like just naturally this is falling away here, so we're going to allow that to happen naturally. That's pretty small. I need to look at that a little bit closer, but this one here, it is all coming from one main point. All of them are coming from a base that you can feel down here at the bottom. Again, you don't want any of the soil to go above the leaves because that will rot the stems. This one definitely is having a little issue standing on its own at the moment. I'll keep kind of building up around the base, making sure not to cover and not to bury it too deeply. How adorable is that? Looks like I am going to have to get out some toothpicks. Put some toothpicks. Strategically placed just to give it. I'll go ahead and put one on the other side as well. Need to do it with this little guy as well. I'm going to look at this one a little bit closer. I don't know, I have planted small ones like this before, and to my surprise they actually were doing great. Especially when you're using, you know, lights or whatever that I'm just going to put it in a tiny cup because I'm not sure, I don't want to use a whole bunch of soil. I think that kind of is a problem with a lot of me a lot of times, is it's hard to throw anything away because you're thinking, wow, this could be another beautiful plant. And you feel like the potential just to kind of toss it in the trash can be kind of a difficult thing to do. But at some point you run out of friends and people to give them to. As you can hear, my cat is displeased with the fact that I am not giving her the attention she duly deserves. That is okay. I may have planted this one a little deeply, but at the end I usually go back and I double check everything, clean off the leaves of all the excess dirt. In this case, again, the mother leaf already has roots that stayed with her. I'm going to go ahead and pot her back up. Alright, next we have another one here that is a standard size violet. Let's see what we have going on inside here. Alright, let's try to... Wow, this one is on very tight. Alright, it looks like we have multiple things happening here. As you can hopefully see, there are two very distinct groupings right here. And I'm not sure what's going on behind, but we're going to go ahead. Just gently let these roots pull themselves apart. Now this, again, you can see all growing up out of one base. So this is a plant. And this one looks like we have two more plants. This one being the smallest with the teeny tiny leaves at the bottom. We'll see how well that turns out later. But this one, other than a strange leaf, looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead. Start the process of getting these roots down in the cup. What a mess, you guys. I am messy today. Messy. I'm going to make sure that there's holes cut or burned, drilled in the bottom of these cups, because you don't want the violets to sit in water. That's also why we do a mix of half African violet soil, half perlite, is to help it drain effectively. You don't want the roots to be sitting in water, because root rot is, you know, a danger. And you don't want to be throwing around your baby violets like I am right now. I'm having a hard time. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean all this up. So here we have the finished product. I do have two other ones, but they did not fit in this particular plastic container. Again, I wanted to have a way to cover them, so to keep them in a more humid environment. As you can see, some of the leaves are looking a little bit droopy. That usually happens after they've been repotted. The stress of the repotting tends to make that happen, but don't be worried, you know, just cover them up, give them that extra humidity and time. I have them under my grow lights here, so hopefully that will also help them rebound from the trauma that I caused them today. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a good day.